Hi everyone, welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. You're watching Epicentre, which is what we are calling a series of videos on the Bengal election, because Bengal right now is the epicenter of all the political action in the country. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, because by doing that, you will be supporting and promoting independent journalists like me. Now, let's get to today's video. We're going to talk about 10 things that you need to know about Bengal politics right now. Things are very, very interesting. Things are very different this time around. So let's get straight to it. Now, we all know that Mamata Banerjee is a very important opposition leader in the country who also has the position of Chief Minister. Not a lot of opposition leaders in the country have that position of power. Now, TMC does not consider itself a regional party. They call themselves a national party. They do have 22 MPs in the Lok Sabha and 13 MPs in the Rajya Sabha, which of course is significantly lesser than what they had in 2014. Now, cut to the BJP. BJP had only 2 seats in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, but in 2019, they increased their seats to 18, which was just 4 short of TMC's 22. Even their vote share jumped to 40%, just 3.3% lesser than the TMC. So given these statistics, BJP is the biggest obstacle for the TMC right now. And if the BJP does manage a victory in Bengal, not only is it going to be a big blow to the TMC, but also to the opposition of the country and also secular politics, or the so-called secular politics in the country. So in a way, we can say that the survival of the opposition is dependent on how Mamata Banerjee performs in these elections. Now, in the last 6 to 7 years, BJP has made massive inroads in the state of Bengal, and the 2019 Lok Sabha election results were indicative of that fact. So what they've done is that they've built a very strong foundation at the grassroots. They've built a very strong cadre. They've been able to make a very, very strong foundation for the BJP in the state, to the surprise of many people. Now, BJP heavyweights like Amit Shah and JP Nadda, they have made Bengal their pet projects. They've been campaigning in the state since late 2020. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a star campaigner in Bengal. In fact, very recently he helmed the 125th birth anniversary celebrations of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which was seen as a massive boost to the party, and it upset Mamata Banerjee greatly. In fact, a lot of people are saying that the beard that Narendra Modi currently has is made to resemble Rabindranath Tagore in an attempt to appeal to the Bengalis. Now, the kind of money that BJP has put in is undeniable in the state. It was in full display during the Durga Puja and the Kali Puja celebrations last year. There were posters of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah all across the city of Kolkata. In fact, I've also seen that. There was a massive campaign, and they have definitely invested a lot of money, a lot of logistics in the state, and they're leaving no stone unturned to win the state. And speaking of leaving no stone unturned to win, the BJP has been poaching leaders from the TMC at a never-seen-before rate. In fact, in the last 3 months alone, almost 50 leaders from the TMC have defected to the BJP. Amit Shah has predicted that by the time the election arrives, Mamata Banerjee will be left with no leaders of her own. Now, the biggest blow to the TMC came in the form of Shuvendu Adhikari. Now, who is Shuvendu Adhikari? He was a minister in Mamata's cabinet. He is the MLA from Nandigram, and he was also, before that, was the TMC MP from Tumluk. And when in 2016 he won the MLA seat from Nandigram, he gave away his MP seat. Now, why is he important? He's a very influential grassroots leader. Now, if you remember in 2008, 9 and 10, when the Nandigram and the Shingrur agitation was going on in Bengal, Shuvendu Adhikari was very instrumental in galvanizing the people for Mamata's movement. If you remember, it was this movement that helped Mamata Banerjee come to power, and it ended the CPM's 34-year-long rule in the state. Now, what Mamata Banerjee has done, she was very, very upset with Shubhendu Adhikari defecting to the BJP. She has given him a direct electoral challenge in Nandigram. She's announced that she will be contesting from Nandigram. Now, BJP has not come out with their candidates list, but it's quite clear that Shubhendu Adhikari will be taking on Mamata Banerjee in Nandigram, and that will be a very, very interesting fight to watch out for. Now, why are the TMC leaders defecting to the BJP? Is it just the money or is it something else? Let's find out. Now, till the time Mukul Roy was with the TMC, he was the party's number 2 man. But since he defected to the BJP in 2017, there was a void in the power structure of the TMC, and leaders like Shubhendu Adhikari expected to fill that void. But that did not happen. Instead, Mamata Banerjee promoted her own nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, and she made him the number 2 person in the party, and that upset a lot of TMC leaders. In fact, leaders like Shubhendu Adhikari, Shovandev Chatterjee, Anupam Hazra, Soumitra Khan, they have all openly spoken out against Abhishek Banerjee, and then subsequently they joined the BJP. Now, many describe Abhishek Banerjee as obnoxious, arrogant, authoritarian, but he is mostly accused of being corrupt.
মাননীয় তোলাবাজ ভাইপো প্রথমত এই ধরনের ফেরেববাজ চিটিংবাজ খুব কম আছে ছোট বয়স থেকে হাত পাকিয়েছে কি করে চিটিংবাজি করতে হয়
Now, the BJP calls Abhishek Banerjee Tolabaj Bhaipo, which translated means extortionist nephew. Now, the term Bhaipo has also become a bad word in Bengal politics. Now, whether or not all of these TMC leaders defected to the BJP because of the rise of Abhishek Banerjee, that's not certain. But what is certain is that Mamata Banerjee wanted Abhishek Banerjee to be in this position of power. And at the end of the day, it is Mamata Banerjee who calls all the shots in the TMC. But who calls the shots in Bengal BJP? Let's find out. Now, there isn't a shred of doubt that if the TMC wins this election, Mamata Banerjee will continue as the Chief Minister of the state. But if the BJP manages a victory in the state, not one person at this point can say who will be the party's CM candidate. In fact, Kailash Vijayvargiya, who is the BJP's Bengal in charge, has made it very clear that the party will not announce their CM candidate till the time the party wins the election. Now, this sort of a strategy has worked for the BJP in some states like Uttar Pradesh, but in some states like Delhi, this strategy has failed miserably. And that sort of an effect can happen in Bengal as well. Now, there are 3 or 4 people who are in the race for CM. One of them is Dilip Ghosh, who is BJP's president in the state. He has been very instrumental in BJP gaining massive cadre, massive ground in the state. But insiders say he might not be BJP's first choice for chief minister because he is not somebody who can be controlled or reined in, which is a massive criteria for chief minister for BJP. Now, he's also considered brash, he's considered crude. These are not qualities of a chief minister, specifically not what the BJP would want. Now, another person who can be made CM is Mukul Roy. Now, he is BJP's national vice president, but will BJP make a TMC defector their CM? That is something that we don't know at this point. Now, Babul Supriyo is also an eminent personality in Bengal politics. He also has the celebrity factor, but he is the MP for the BJP from Asansol. So he will have to give up that seat if he wants to be made CM. Now, another name that keeps coming into the mix is Swapan Das Gupta's. Now, Swapan is a well-known BJP leader from Bengal. He is a well-known mainstream politician, and BJP might want a person of national significance in the state as opposed to a regional one. But something that Swapan Das Gupta said, and that created quite a stir within the party. This was right after the results of the Delhi election. He said Modi Shah cannot be a substitute in every state, specifically not in Bengal, especially when they are going up against a formidable force like Mamata Banerjee. And considering the fact that Mamata Banerjee has a largely consolidated Muslim support base, BJP might need a CM candidate in the state. Now, Mamata Banerjee has been time and again accused of appeasing Muslims, but electorally that has always worked in her favour. In 2019 Lok Sabha elections, out of the TMC's 43.3% vote share, Muslims accounted for 23.3%. Now, Muslims constitute almost 30% of Bengal's voters. Now, that is where BJP faces its biggest challenge. In 2018 Bengal Panchayat polls, BJP fielded more than 850 Muslim candidates, but out of them only 27 of them worked. Now, BJP is not helping matters for themselves. In January this year, JP Nadda, he launched two village programs. One of them was called the Krishak Suraksha Abhiyan and the other one was Ek Muthi Chawal. And in both of these programs, they excluded 8,000 villages with a high Muslim concentration. Plus, the BJP is not and will not actively or openly pursue the Muslims in the state lest they lose their Hindu consolidation. Mamata Banerjee that way has an upper hand because she has openly spoken out against the CAA and the NRC. She's been very categorical in saying that she will not let the NRC be implemented in the state. So largely she does have a consolidated Muslim support base, but things have changed in that regard as well. Now, there are two people who can erode Mamata's Muslim support base. One of them is Abbas Siddiqui and the other is Asaduddin Owaisi. Let me start with Abbas Siddiqui. Now, Abbas Siddiqui is the Pirzada or the cleric of the Furfura Sharif Shrine in the Hooghly district, which controls about 3,000 mosques in the state. Now, he has been openly critical of Mamata Banerjee. He's accused Mamata Banerjee of using the Muslims for electoral gains and that she hasn't done enough for the development of the Muslims in the state. Now, he has started his own party, the Indian Secular Front. That's where Asaduddin Owaisi comes into play. In January this year, Asaduddin Owaisi and Abbas Siddiqui met, and after their meeting, they announced that together they will contest in 50 to 60 seats in South Bengal, where the concentration of Muslims is high. Now, that alliance may have fallen through since then because Abbas Siddiqui announced that he is interested to join the already existing alliance of the Congress and left in the state, something that Asaduddin Owaisi does not want. Now, the finalizations in this regard has not been made, but Asaduddin Owaisi is most likely to contest in Bengal with or without the support of Abbas Siddiqui. Now, if you remember in Bihar, Asaduddin Owaisi's AIMIM was instrumental in cutting the votes of the Mahagathbandhan, and that could happen in Bengal as well if Mamata Banerjee is not careful. Now, Mamata Banerjee has not announced any pre-poll alliances so far, but political analysts say that if she wants to make sure that the BJP does not come to power, she should ally with the Congress and the left. But Mamata Banerjee doesn't seem to be too worried about that. In fact, she believes that all anti-BJP votes will come to her since voters will not want to waste their votes by voting for the Congress left alliance in the state. But if Abbas Siddiqui comes into the fold with the Congress and the left, her Muslim consolidation might not be as consolidated as she might think. So she might want to rethink her strategy when it comes to making alliances before the election. Now, for those of you who do not know about the Gorkhaland issue, the demand for a separate state of Gorkhaland has been a political issue in Bengal since independence. The Gorkha community has been demanding a separate state of Gorkhaland that will include the Darjeeling Hills and parts of the Doors in North Bengal. Now, Mamata Banerjee has been categorical in saying that she is completely against the bifurcation of the state, saying that she has alienated the Hill parties for many years. On the other hand, the BJP has been in alliance with the biggest party in the hills, the Gorkha Janamukti Morcha, since 2009, and it is because of their support that the BJP has been winning Lok from Darjeeling since 2009. Even the 2019 Lok Sabha seat from Darjeeling was won by the BJP because of the support of the Gorkha Janamukti Morcha, but things have really changed since then. In 2017, the party split into two parts. Bimal Gurung, who was the chief of the Gorkha Janamukti Morcha, he was charged under anti-terror laws by the West Bengal government for the violent agitation or the Gorkhaland agitation that took place in 2017, which led to a 105-day-long strike in the Darjeeling Hills. Now, one faction of the party, which was led by Binoy Tamang, they came into alliance with the TMC and they have been running the GTA, which is the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration, which is a semi-autonomous governing body in the hills. When Bimal Gurung was charged under the anti-terror laws by the state government, he went into hiding in 2017. But interestingly, he resurfaced last year in October and he announced his support for the TMC as well. So now both the factions of the Gorkha Janamukti Morcha are supporting the TMC. Bimal Gurung was very critical of the BJP. He said that the BJP has been using the people of the hills but actually has done nothing for their demand of a separate state of Gorkhaland. So now the situation is such that the TMC and the GJM are in alliance, but whether TMC is going to support the GJM and not contest from the Darjeeling Hills is something that we'll have to see. But right now, the contest in the Darjeeling Hills is between the BJP and the Gorkha Janamukti Morcha, who were once in alliance with each other. And finally, an anti-incumbency factor is also playing out against the Mamata Banerjee government. The TMC has been in power for 10 years and historically voters do seek a change when one person has been in power for that long. But Mamata Banerjee has changed her election narrative. She has made her election pitch about Amra versus Ora, which means it's a contest between insiders and outsiders. She's been saying that the BJP are outsiders, they don't understand Bengal, they don't understand Bengal's culture. She has maintained her stance as a secular leader and has been accusing the BJP of communally polarizing the state.
তুমি যদি নেতাজি নেতাজি করতে আমি তোমাদের স্যালুট জানাতাম, তা না করে যা করেছো, বাংলাকে অপমান করেছো, নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বোসকে অপমান করেছো, এর আগে রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরকে অপমান করেছো, তার আগে ঈশ্বরচন্দ্র বিদ্যাসাগরের মূর্তি ভেঙেছো, বিরসা মুন্ডার নামে অন্য লোকের গলায় মালা পরিয়েছো।
मैं अभी आया हेलीपैड से लेकर सारे रास्ते, मैं सिर्फ ऐसे हाथ हिलाता था, उधर से कहते थे जय श्री राम। और ममता जी को इतना गुस्सा क्यों आता है? क्यों गुस्सा आता है?
Now, the BJP is heavily depending on the narrative that Mamata Banerjee is anti-Hindu. In fact, the election slogan says Ebar Bangla Pare Shamla, which means that this is your chance to save Bengal. Now, whether this narrative will help the BJP or not, that remains to be seen. But what we do know for sure is that if the BJP comes to power in Bengal this time, they will change the face of Bengal politics forever. Now, the people of Bengal will have to decide whether this is the change that they're looking for. Now, if you like this video, give it a virtual like as well. Please subscribe to this channel and also hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a new video.